Today I'm taking a look at a very classic headphone. Uh, it's my first time trying a little bit of a different format here, um, here in my office. But anyways, this is the Sennheiser HD580 Precision. This is a very classic headphone, and it's been one of my favorites for a long time. Now, this is effectively the predecessor to the much renowned HD600 and all of its uh, sort of derivatives, like the 650 and the 660S. Before those, there was this, and by some accounts, including my own, I feel that this is the best representation of what that design has to offer. Now, of course, these are all getting very old, but considering how robust this design is, even with the 600, even one like this that has been fairly beat up over the years can last for many decades. Um, Now this is it's a bit of I'd say a trophy piece for me, because ever since I'd gotten into headphones, I'd always wanted one of these, and well, eventually I got one. And I'll tell you right now why I like it so much, and it's the mids. People pass around the word, it has great timbre and everything like that, and yeah, it's not wrong. You know, the this isn't the most accurate headphone. There's a lot of things that this headphone and the 600 can't do. It doesn't extend all that well. The treble is a little bit failed, but well, I'd say people calling it a failed headphone overall is it's a bit exaggerated, but still, there's not a whole lot of energy to it in general. But once you get to that mid range and that lower mid range, it starts to really, really come out. Just how well this handles things like string instruments and vocals. Um, it's a pretty unique experience. You know, Sometimes the lack of stage, which it doesn't stage all that well, and imaging isn't amazing, but sometimes that lack of stage can detract from the sound. But when you hear those vocals just coming up right up close to you, like the way that a headphone like this does, I think it actually almost adds to the experience a little bit. It doesn't feel like you're in an echo chamber or anything like that. It just feels like someone's singing right in front of you. And I think that's the whole appeal of this headphone. Now, I mentioned that I preferred this to the 600 a little bit, and that's because the tuning actually changed over the years slightly. So let's take this apart now. The old Sennheiser black mesh. This one's made out of either nylon or silk. I believe it's nylon. It was a little bit less dense than the newer models, and it was slightly better at reducing reflections, apparently. And so what you end up with is a slightly less, slightly less shouty and slightly less mid-bassy variant of the 600, and apparently the old 600s compared to the new ones exhibit somewhat similar traits to the originals here. Specifically, this is a third revision HD580 made in Ireland. This is not the German model, and this is not, as you saw, this is not the silver screen model. This is one of the more common ones you'll find. And, it just has this really sort of odd, quirky, I'd say, and very 90s wavy aesthetic to it, with these cups. It's not just a plain black mesh like the HD600 is, and I can appreciate that. And the aesthetics overall are just very, not overly exciting. It's not like, the gaudy, fake marbly thing that was going on with the old 600s, and which they've changed recently for good reason. Um, it's a very subdued design. It's really nice. And, of course, it still has those great Sennheiser ergonomics, nice wide cups. Um, Mine needs new pads, and which are coming in soon. But in general, it's a really just well thought out headphone. Um, and it's really an experience that I think everyone should have at least once. Even if you can't afford a 600, I find someone who has one. Because yeah, these are this. I mean, 580 is a little piece of history, but all of these headphones are you know well deserved as with their I guess position as legends in the mid-fi space for many decades now. And that's all I wanted to say. Um, you know, Great headphones, great mids. Not for everyone, but I think the way just the mid range alone, the way it handles that, I think it's really worth a try for pretty much anyone. Even if they're not on the market for new headphones, this is something that you have to try at least once, I think. And that's it. Thanks.